at me now. Look at me now. Oh.
So, for my part of my global final, I'm going to make a video instead of going the traditional route and writing an essay about how I've changed through the semester. And the reason I'm doing a video as opposed to a traditional paper is that I feel confident in my abilities to orally say how I've changed as opposed to, you know, writing them down. I feel like I better communicate them through speaking through this video. And you know, that's using my strengths to help me, you know, and not shying away from my weaknesses, but just using my strengths to improve my standing. And that's something I learned in my sport management class. We talk about this idea called SWOT, which is internal strengths and weaknesses and external opportunities and threats. And you want to use the strengths and weaknesses, both weaknesses too, because by understanding your weaknesses, that can help you get better in that area, and also use that to emphasize your strengths. And you also need to look at opportunities, external, look at jobs and, you know, internship opportunities and anything that can help you get an edge in something where you can use your strengths to take advantage of opportunities. My econ professor, yesterday, last day of class, you know, he tells us there are 3 things that we should follow, like his 3 things of life. And the 3 things were that you need to meet 1 new person every day, because you never know who you'll meet, and one day that person could, you know, help you get a job or, you know, be your best friend. You never know unless you say hi. Second thing he told us is go outside your comfort zone. And, you know, it's hard to achieve much in life unless you take chances. And then the third thing is that you want to go get the things you want. No one in life, no one's going to hand you anything. You have to go take it. And so, and that sort of goes to meeting a new person, going outside your comfort zone. You know, if you just live in your shell, which, you know, that was probably a thing that I've worked on since I've gotten to Elon, is leaving my comfort zone, leaving my shell, trying to meet new people. Because if you live a sheltered life, you know, it's tough to expand. You know, you're going to be stuck doing the same things over and over, and you're never going to experience those opportunities. You're never going to be able to emphasize your strengths and, you know, and work on your weaknesses. You know, you're going to have the same weaknesses and the same strengths, but you're not going to be utilizing them. You're just going to be in the same place. And so, you know, I definitely learned you have to be proactive, and, you know, you have to be the initiator. You have to initiate, you know, meeting somebody, or, you know, making that contact, and, you know, going and applying for that internship, and not thinking, oh, I can't, you know, I'm not gonna get it, you know, I'm just a freshman. That happened to me, actually. You know, I had a chance. There was an opportunity to perhaps work at the Summer Olympics, and, you know, my professor told me, he's like, look, you can apply for it, but, you know, there's not really, you know, you never know if you'll get it. You're a freshman, don't really have like a great resume. And so, you know, I was true to myself, you know, and, you know, I applied for it and I got in. I didn't accept the opportunity. It wasn't right for me. Just being true to myself again, I realized the opportunity didn't suit my strengths. It wasn't a great opportunity for me. So, and there are better things I can do with my time that utilize my strengths and will help me get ahead. But it felt good to know that on my own merit, really with no one else's help, that I got this position competing against about 40 other kids for about 15 spots. And that, you know, that felt great inside. I was happy, and so, you know, that was that's one of the biggest things I think I've changed is, being true to myself and, doing the things that I like and, being myself, going after the things that interest me, which for me is sports. I joined the club baseball team and, join the sport management club and doing stuff like that and not trying to be someone I'm not. And that doesn't mean like I can't go to plays or I can't listen to someone play the piano, because that just enhances my cultural understanding and it gives me a lot of new experiences and lets me see things I normally wouldn't see if I just stuck to the things I liked. You don't know if you like something unless you try it out, which is something else I think I've done, between trying new food and in the dining halls or going to see talks or plays or things that, I probably would have shaken off and just been like, I have better things to do with my time. I go see, performances and such, and just listen to people perform, and I end up liking the things I went and saw. And so I feel like Elon has done a great job of opening up new perspectives and giving students the chances, the opportunities, that's a big word, to experience new cultural things and events, and giving them opportunities that they haven't probably had in the past. And it's about taking advantage of those opportunities, because this is probably the only time in your life where those things will be as accessible, as easy to go to, cost free for the most part, and high quality stuff. And so it's important to take advantage. And another thing I've learned is college about branding. It's about branding yourself. Another sport management term. Branding is differentiating a company or your organization using symbols or logos or phrases. And the key about branding is that you want to be separate from your competitors. You want people to be able to recognize your brand, your company, for what it's worth and for the value of that company. And college is where you want to build up your brand. You want people to see how great of a person you are or are becoming through your activities, and so that in the future, that brand has enough value, or people see value in your brand, that they want to hire you for a job, or they want your opinion on a topic, or they want you to write an article for their magazine. And so college, so Elon is giving us the opportunities to expand that brand between, like we said, the cultural experience, the cultural events, the numerous clubs, a lot of opportunities to join at a early stage, like the Fresh TV for a freshman, or I have friends who write for the Pendulum, and me personally, the Sport Management Club, and going and working at events for them, and being part of the honors program. It's about increasing my brand and adding to my brand, and so that I'm different from others. Now, that doesn't mean that I have to be totally different. I have to exclude everybody else, all my competitors, my threats. Going back to the SWAT, my threats. I don't have threats. You want to be able to take other people's opinions, think about how they compare to your own, and make a solid judgment on not only their opinions but your opinions also, and arrive at a middle ground where you take parts from their opinions, you take parts from your opinions, and you have solid evidence to back now what you finally believe. You synthesize from everyone's opinion, everyone's perspectives, so that you have a better understanding of an issue or topic. And so, and then you can use that to aid your brand, and you can increase your knowledge and your understanding. And so, obviously, the more you know, and the more topics you have an opinion on, the more interesting you are, the more likely people are to engage you in conversation or find you, a credible source to talk to. And so that, and that's branding. So, but I also think, coming to Elon, over the course of the first semester, I've definitely learned you have to take chances. Whether that's, extending yourself out to meet new people, or, taking an initiative to set up things for lunch, or, go see an event regardless of whether you're alone or you're with 20 friends, or whether it's making this video instead of writing a conventional paper. If you don't take chances, it's pretty tough to go far in life. It's a pretty cliche phrase, but if you don't jump, you'll never know if you can fly. So just throwing the cliches out there. I know, but it's all about taking chances. And so, I've extended myself, trying to meet new people. Trying to sit with people at lunch, even if I only know them by their name, and try to learn more about them and see how I can connect with them, and make connections. And and there have been times I've just done things on my own. Just say, I'm really interested in this event. McCrary Theaters is doing this. It's okay if no one else wants to go with me, because it's fine. If they don't want to expand, I'll do it on my own. And it's about being true to yourself and not letting others come back to being true to yourself, not letting others influence you. You take chances and you go see that event by yourself, and you can brag a little bit afterwards about how much they missed out. But by taking a chance and being true to yourself, you can expand. And when you take advantage of that stuff, it's again adding to your brand. And so that's that. And so also, another thing came up. We had a speaker in one of my classes, and went over that that you have one bad impression, it takes 1,000 good impressions to make up for that one bad first impression. And so, whenever you meet somebody, you meet that one person a day, you have to give it your all. You have to have a good impression. You want the person to think well of you, to think your brand has value. And so when they get to know you and they remember that first impression, they say, that kid was knowledgeable, that kid has a global understanding, he recognizes the different perspectives, he's not he's not self-centered, he's not selfish, he realizes there's views outside of his own, he realizes he has to compromise. It can't be his way all the time. He's a good listener. He listens to what I have to say. He acknowledges that I'm an intelligent person. And so, Joe DiMaggio once said, he never stopped. He never took a game off, because he always felt like there was someone in the stands that day that hadn't seen him play, and he'd be letting him down if he, took a day off and didn't play. And so you can never take a day off. You have to maintain be positive, but be true to yourself. Don't portray an image that you're not. Because people, your true friends, or the people that find value in your brand, will like you for who you are, and not for something that you're not. And the next thing I want to talk about is something else I've changed is really learning the value of communication and successful communication. And I was at home, always like had to deal with my parents and and telling, oh, you have to communicate better, you have to tell us where you are, why didn't you email this teacher or this professor, or this, why aren't you texting your friend making plans, or why aren't you setting this up? And I always used to brush aside, like, okay, I'll get to it. And come to college, I realized that if you can't communicate, you're dead in the water, and that communication really is the key to success, and good communication, and being on top of things, and being on time, and remember to set up dates. And I used to never use a date book, and my dad used, you have to set up a date book. Yeah, you have to put events in and stuff. And so, I realized I came to college, I was like, okay, I have to set up a date book. If I don't set up a date book, I'll miss out on everything. I won't have those opportunities to take chances, to meet new people, to go see cultural events I wouldn't have experienced, because I'll be sleeping or I'll be on Facebook all day. And so, that, and I coach a rec basketball team of 5 and 6-year-old kids, and a big key to the success of that and having the kids show up to practice and make sure everyone's happy is emailing the parents and emailing my fellow coaches and just telling them what's up, even if it's a 30-second email. Just saying, hey, we're having practice here. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Here's what's coming up. We have games, handing out jerseys, who's bringing the snacks for the next game. And, so far we've had a great season because of this. I think part of this is because I've done a good job communicating. My coach has done a good job communicating, with the parents. And there's been a great cycle, of, fostering communication. And so, it shows my responsibility and, to be motivated to communicate and communicate effectively and efficiently. So, and fosters just a great environment. So, the another topic I want to talk about is sort of how my thinking has changed, over the course of the semester. And I go back to the first day when we watched the Green Day video, American Idiot. And we looked at the lyrics, and we analyzed what the song was about, and the purpose of the video, or the message that I got from it, was that you have to think for yourself, and you have to think independently of everyone else. You can use their opinions, you can use their ideas, but ultimately you have to come to your own conclusions, based on facts, based on what you know, based on your own opinions, beliefs, values. You have to come to a reasonable conclusion. And, we've been talking about poverty and genocide and all these great things in the world. It makes me want to move to Mars. There's no genocide there. And so something I took from this class is, through everything we learned, is, as much as we love America, America is not perfect. There are places where we've screwed up royally, where we've acted incorrectly, or we haven't behaved the way we should. We haven't acted as a global friend or a good neighbor to other countries, and we haven't done what's in our power to help those that needed help. And we've ignored facts or messages, maybe because they weren't in our best interest, or they would have hurt us, even though they would have helped more people than they hurt. And sort of the class, what I took is that you can't be afraid to challenge something like that. You have to be open and say, we've done a lot of great things, but we could do better. You can't just go along with the norm and say, hey, everything's great, we're terrific, we're doing everything we can. There's always something you can do better, whether it's America or yourself. You can always strive to be better. You have to be true to yourself and say, I can do better. And you can't be afraid to challenge something or question something. It goes back to, in communications, we watch George Carlin's 7 Dirty Words, words you can't say on television. And I'm risky by making this video, but I'm taking a chance. But I'm not I'm not that ambitious to list all 7 words, because it's a pretty egregious list. But and the reactions from the people are like watching the video in class, and I imagine the audience at the time was like, is he allowed to say that? Is he allowed to challenge the authorities that told him he couldn't say this? It is such a taboo thing to do, but it was an innovative thing to do, and it's you can't be afraid to challenge something bigger than yourself. It's perfect. You can always improve on something. There's always room for improvement, and things become more efficient, and we can become better neighbors, and we can not turn the other cheek, and we can help save people while helping ourselves. And as a person, we can be a global citizen and do more to help those in need. And that adds to our brand. By helping others, and by showing a true passion in helping others, that adds to our values and our beliefs and our overall self-image. I've become a better thinker, a more globally aware thinker, more ready to challenge something that I don't believe in, call someone out, not in a mean way, but in a way that says, well, are you looking at this side of the story, or do we admit any information that's relevant? You've heard me talk long enough, and I don't know if you've figured it out by now, but I've basically done this entire presentation with very little speech and making things up as I go and expanding on previous ideas. And I've never taken a class on public speaking. First time I've done an oral presentation through a video, and I definitely took a chance, but I was true to myself. I looked at how I'm best able to communicate information, and to me that's orally, and I'm definitely taking a chance, but I can't grow unless I take chances. And so I'm continuing to develop myself, and definitely being true to myself, and that's why I did this video. Being true to myself, doing what I'm good at, what I think I'm good at. And so, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, Steve Bray, and look forward to getting a good grade.